detailed pumpkin carvings. Number 20. John Neal's Native American Pumpkin. John Neal is an American pumpkin carver and sculptor who makes eerily realistic pumpkins every year around Halloween time. This one is of a Native American chief. The headdress alone is done in such amazing detail that it's hard to believe that this was done by hand. Not to mention the face, in which every line is clearly defined and drawn out. This is a beautiful sculpture made by a very talented individual. Number 19. Zombie Face Pumpkin. This zombie pumpkin is done in incredible detail. It has a strong, humorous element about it due to the silly face the zombie is making. Yet it finds a way to come off as scary with the grim detail put into the flesh that is stretching from the zombie's face back into the pumpkin. Number 18. Zipper Face Pumpkin. This pumpkin has a sarcastic air about it. It is a humorous concept that is overlain by a light-hearted depiction of a strange skeleton man. The humor is in the face of the pumpkin. The awkward staring eyes and the cloth zipper mask that covers the face both add to this. Overall, it is a very detailed piece of work that is the product of a very skilled artist. Number 17. Cthulhu Pumpkin. The Dark Lord Cthulhu rises from the sea to bring about a new age of darkness in the world. Well, at least an age of darkness that lasts through Halloween night. A very talented individual carved this detailed depiction of Cthulhu, the Dark Lord of Terror. In case you didn't know, Cthulhu is a notable enemy of all humanity in the works of H.P. Lovecraft, a horror writer similar to Edgar Allan Poe. Number 16. Elephant Pumpkin. This is a beautifully carved pumpkin that was made with a skill that is not normally exhibited in the world of pumpkin carving. The artist of this sculpture went to extreme lengths to squeeze as much realism into one pumpkin as possible. The notable thing is the butterflies, and carefully, they are carved out to be a functioning part of the sculpture as well. The element is exceptional in this craftsmanship. Number 15. Bursting Zombie Pumpkin. This zombie pumpkin exhibits realism like the elephant shown before, but it also takes into a realm of fantasy, a dark fantasy at that. It depicts a zombie bursting forth from the pumpkin with the guts of the zombie splattered all over. The artist went to so much trouble to add detail that there are even a few claw marks to make it look as if the zombie was actively pulling itself out at the time the photo was taken. Number 14. Smush Pumpkin. It depicts a face that is being squeezed by the cheeks. The detail in the squeezed face is exceptional, and the artist did a phenomenal job making it look as if the sculpture was actually squishing and absorbent. This is a fantastic artist feat that requires a reasonable amount of skill in sculpting. Number 13. Pumpkin Bus. This pumpkin is actually quite cute. It depicts a little bus that is hauling around a few ghostly characters to their intended destination. The detail in the ghoul carvings, especially that of the bus driver, is exceptional and must have required a lot of time and attention to perfect. Number 12. Grinning Pumpkin. This grinning pumpkin has a tendency to make people a bit uncomfortable. With its wicked glare and gleaming smile, it looks like it wants to lure people into the woods to eat them. A pumpkin that can make you feel uncomfortable is a well-carved pumpkin. Number 11. Pumpkin Alien. The artist who made this alien pumpkin did an exceptional job at combining horror and humor. The alien itself looks quite terrifying with its worm-like body and its giant demon-esque ears. It looks like it would be interested in consuming you if it could. However, when you look at its facial expression, you notice the humor in it. It almost looks frustrated, as if it's not having the best day and something else unfortunate just happened to it. The pumpkin's ability to induce mixed feelings shows the artist was successful in making a detailed sculpture that can affect people who view it directly. Number 10. Flowery Pumpkin. This pumpkin's floral design is an intricate pattern that took a lot of time and work to form in detail. It also would have required a great amount of precision. Due to the fact that if you messed it up, you messed up the whole pumpkin. The detail in the pattern is amazing, and the way the roses flow out of the pumpkin stem is an exceptional, superb visual effect. Number 9. Terrifying Pumpkin. This is titled the Terrifying Pumpkin because that is exactly what it is, terrifying. The beady eyes and the massive teeth have a menacing air about them, and this makes the pumpkin very uncomfortable to look at. The way the skin is peeled off only in certain areas and not in others gives the pumpkin a decayed flesh look that is likely to scare any number of trick-or-treaters who come by this artist's home. Number 8. Tinkerbell Pumpkin. After seeing all those scary pumpkins, perhaps we should take a break and look at more pleasant pumpkin sculptures. The artist who made this carved out an accurate shape of Tinkerbell, which looks amazing when the light is shining through it. It gives it a feeling of real fairy magic occurring right there in that pumpkin. To add to this effect, the artist made holes of varying size that flow forth from Tinkerbell, creating the effect of fairy dust flowing behind her. Number 7. Game of Pumpkins. The Starks of Winterfell decided to carve a pumpkin this Halloween. What better way to show love for your family on Halloween when you are a Stark than to carve the family sigil into the pumpkin? Remember, October 31st is very close to the end of fall, and you know what that means. Winter is coming. Number 6. Split Face Pumpkin. This pumpkin does a great job at combining the look of traditional porch pumpkins with a terrifying underlayer that depicts the skull inside the porch pumpkin. The cracked flesh and bulging eye on the yellow side make for a very terrifying visual. and it took a very skilled artist to produce this pumpkin monstrosity. Number 5. Split Personality Pumpkin. The detail in this pumpkin is exceptional. It depicts two faces of alternate personalities ripping away from each other in a violent pull. It looks as if it would be very painful, especially in the part where it looks as if the flesh is tearing right in the middle. The artist who created this may have had a twisted imagination, but they also had a lot of skill. Number 4. Predator Pumpkin. Watch out, you can't see him, but he sure can see you. Predator Pumpkin has a tendency to skin people alive, so you better keep your eyes sharp. He could strike at any moment. The detail in this sculpture is quite exceptional, and the artist who made this did much justice to the iconic movie character. Number 3. John Neal's Angry Pumpkin. Once again, we're back to John Neal and his beautifully detailed pumpkins. John Neal is a professional sculptor who has a serious knack for making pumpkins scary. In this image, he is making a pumpkin into the face of a man who looks like he has crossed the lines of insanity. The most haunting thing about this pumpkin is the gleam in its eyes. It seems like this pumpkin can make people uncomfortable by a mere glance. Number 2. Meditating Pumpkin. The detail in this pumpkin is quite amazing. Besides the face, the detail in the branch arms and the legs of this pumpkin make it something quite unique on its own. This is not to say that the face is not a piece of art as well, because it most certainly is. The mellow expression depicted on this pumpkin just makes for a more detailed effect that you can really feel when you look at it. The artist who made this had a lot of creative potentials here, and they fulfilled them. Number 1. John Neal's One-Eyed Pumpkin. Sometimes John Neal adds color to his pumpkins, and this is how you get one such as this. This is a terrifying depiction of some kind of horrible, metal-encased monster that looks more than happy to eat you and your family for Halloween. The detail that went into every part of this sculpture is beyond measure. The yellow of the teeth, the raw color of the gums, the red in the eye, and the tenoring of the skin and more. All of it comes together to create a beautiful piece of terrifying imagery.